Okay, here's an example that puts everything together. The whole concept of probability distributions of discrete random variables, as well as means and variances and standard deviations of those random variables as well. So this says an insurance company sells a 1-year life insurance policy to an 80-year-old woman. The woman pays a premium of $1,000. If she dies within the year, the company pays $20,000 to her beneficiary. The probability, according to the Centers for Disease and Control, the CDC, the probability that an 80-year-old woman is alive 1 year later, it's about 95%, 0.9516. So X is the profit made by the insurance company. And so our first goal is to actually look at the probability distribution of X. So if X is the profit made by the insurance company, we can consider the possible profits at the end of a year by the insurance company, as well as the probabilities that are associated with those profits. And in this scenario, there's actually only a couple possible profits. The best case scenario is that the 80-year-old woman is alive 1 year later, in which case the insurance company would have profited $1,000. Now the probability of that 80-year-old woman being alive 1 year later, we know, according to the CDC, is 0.9516. So there's one other profit here for the insurance company, and that is if the woman dies. Now if the woman dies, you should note that she's already paid her $1,000 premium. So if she is, or if her benefactor or beneficiary is receiving $20,000 from the insurance company is not losing $20,000. They've already got $1,000 from her premium, but then they're paying out $20,000. And so you can see from this, if they start with $1,000 and they have to pay out $20,000, then their net is a negative $19,000. Should put commas there. So their profit in the case that she dies would be a negative $19,000, but the probability associated with that profit is pretty small, because the probability that she lives is 0.9516. Therefore, the probability that she does not live, the probability that she dies, is going to be 1 minus 0.9516, and we could see that that is 0.0484. So we say 0.0484. She's got about a 5% chance of that happening, in which case the insurance company has about a 5% chance of paying out $20,000, having a net profit of negative $19,000. So the question of find the expected value of the profit, that's saying, like, what do we expect the profit to be? And the way that we describe expectation is through the concept of average. And so I want you to know that expected value is just the exact same thing as mean. And so what we are doing in this problem is we are just looking for the mean of our random variable x. We know how to find the mean of our random variable x. We can use a formula. We talked about that a couple of videos ago, where we would say, let's take our x values and multiply by their corresponding probabilities. Or if we don't want to approach it that way, we can also use the calculator for determining the mean. And that's what I'm going to do here. As simple as this is to use the formula, I'm going to punch it into the calculator just to show you that one more time. I'm also going to do that because finding the standard deviation of the profit is a little bit more difficult algebraically, and it's much easier to do, again, just using the calculator. So I'm going to go into my list in the calculator, and I am going to clear the earlier list. So remember, to clear a list, we press clear enter. Never press delete at the top of that list, always clear enter. And in list 1, we're just going to put the two possible values of our random variable, the two possible values of the profit. So we get in 1,000 and negative 19,000. And then when we go over to list 2, we're going to put in 0.9516, and then also 0.0484. And I have put my calculator back into the Stat Wizards mode. So if I press Stat Calc, this is what we did earlier, where we say Stat Calc, and we go to one of our stats, you're going to see I'm going to be prompted for the frequency list and all of those things. So this is what I was saying in the previous video. The calculator, once you put L2 in as that frequency list, it's going to kind of leave that there. So later on in the course, we might have to delete this, but right now this is exactly where we put our information. We've got our discrete random variable in L1, we've got our probabilities in L2. So I'm just going to press calculate, and you can see that the expected value of the profit, which is the same as the mean, is equal to 32. So our answer here is only $32 is the expected value that the insurance company is going to profit on this 180-year-old woman. And the standard deviation of that is pretty big. You can see that the standard deviation is 4,292.199, which kind of makes sense given the wide discrepancies between the two possible profits that the insurance company can make. So that is how I'm going to encourage you guys to compute the expected values and the standard deviations using the calculator.